Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to today's class. We will start today with prayer as usual. Then I will read some of your work. And then because we only have 2 weeks left of school for us, we're going to do something a little different today because next week will be our last video class. So we're going to do a little bit of review today and next week. Okay, so let's start with prayer and then we'll get started with the class. Okay. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings. Help us to be grateful and help us to acknowledge you and the blessings that you give us. Help us to praise you and thank you daily for all that you do for us. Keep us safe and strong and healthy. Keep us smiling and happy and help us to be helpful to our families during this time. I pray that you give us comfort and hope and joy during this time and be with us as we learn today. In the name of Yeshua, your son, we pray. Amen. Okay, so we are going to get started. I am going to read some of your work. And just as I promised, you are going to get to guess whose I'm reading. So I'm not going to tell you who it is until after I read the story, and then I'll have a few comments for you, okay? And you'll get to guess each one. So let's see how you do. Okay, so for the first one, yes, okay. I'll read it to you and you see if you can guess who this is, okay? A ratty extermination. It was bright and sunny day. It was a bright and sunny day when two spiders, who were best friends and traveled together, decided to build a web in a grumpy teenage boy's bedroom. This teenager's bedroom was so dirty that rats easily hid in it. Swiftly, they built the bed on his windowsill. The first one was laying on the velvety web while the second started crawling around the windowsill. The teenager, who you can't see, was laying on his bed. The windowsill was so dusty to the spiders, it looked like giant sand dunes. The spiders were very hungry. They kept waiting for hours. The sunny day was scaring the food away. Finally, at dusk, after hours of inactivity, all the bugs got caught on the web because there was no more sunlight. They had so much food, they threw a party. When the party started, the spiders, who all chided and danced, discussed the beautiful decorations. They had invited 38 spiders. They had a huge, fancy dinner. The main course was a huge 8-inch dragonfly because it was the largest bug caught. After eating, they excitedly danced some more. Delightfully, they slow danced, congaed, and flamingo danced. Then all of a sudden, the teenager took out his earphones and the spiders heard the rock and roll sound of drums and electric guitars. After the music stopped, the elegant spiders got out pianos and violins and played a lovely song. The spiders said they had fun, and then they left. After the night's worth of celebrating, the morning came again. The terrifying spiders were so tired that they could barely move a tiny spider muscle. Later on that day, they caught one bug and sleepily ate it. Soon, the super sleepy spiders, which fell into a deep, peaceful sleep like babies, fell down on their bellies. They dreamed of a land filled with tasty bug treats, such as sautéed anopheles, mosquitoes, deep-fried soldier ants, barbecued hissing cockroach, baked beetle, and mopane worm salad. The two arachnids thought they were in heaven because there was an unlimited supply of fake food. They didn't know that. Little did they know that while they were sleeping, a rat lurked nearby. The rat climbed up the wall and ate the spider web. Sleepily, the second spider woke up only to see the germy, deadly mouth of a rat swallow him whole. That's what should be called a ratty extermination, not at night, but in the morning. So that's the first story. Who do you think that was? Whose do you think that was? Oh, can you guess? If you guessed, that was Jacob's. You're right. Jacob, you did a great job with your story. I like your who which clause that I found several times. I like your description, the terrifying spiders. And let me see, there was one thing. You were the one I thought of last week when I said the vocabulary word velvety would work great because of the way you had described your the web last week in your rough draft. And you used it, the velvety web. Yeah, so that was good. I was thinking of you. I thought you would use that one right there. That was a good one. The grumpy teenage boy's room. I like that. That's a good adjective, grumpy. And I liked your number 3 opener, delightfully. They slow danced, congaed, and flamingo danced. So that's a good number 3 opener there. Okay, you had lots of good points in your parts of your story, but I only highlighted a few. You did pretty good of staying on topic with the first sentence of each paragraph reflected the central fact of the pictures very, very well. So good job, Jacob. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna put that aside. Let's see if you can guess this next one. Ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. The tangled web. There were once 2 minuscule spiders who were friendly to other spiders. It was a surprisingly sunny day, and they were lounging on a window. The sun was shining brightly as one of the spiders speedily spun their silky web because it was hungry. There were flies nearby the spiders. Suddenly, the spiders became ravenous. It was primarily sunny, and there were 2 tiny spiders. Soon it was nighttime, and there were bugs who were partying, dancing, and enjoying music. It was a crescent moon, and there were plenty of twinkling stars. Predictably, the bugs were having a spectacular time. They were on the same windowsill as the spiders. The bugs were unable to see the spiders because it was completely dark. The bugs threw an amazingly great party that night. Impulsively, the spiders ate the bugs. The first spider continued spinning the velvety soft web because he wanted more food. The second spider played. The treacherous spider who relaxed in the sun, spiders who relaxed in the sun were warm. It was an early morning, and by the way, the spiders are back. After the spectacularly great party, the spiders devoured them like cheeseburgers. Okay, that was very good. Let's see whose was that. You want to take a guess? Can you guess whose that was? If you guessed Paul, yes, that was Paul's story. Paul, I really like your alliteration. The spiders speedily spun their silky web. That was very good. Spiders speedily spun. And you used some really good ly adverbs throughout. One of your openers was suddenly. That really creates like it kind of tells us how how quickly or how they were surprised. Suddenly, the spiders became ravenous. Okay, and good use of your hoop witch clause. There was another one. Impulsively. I like that word, that adverb, because it tells how, how they decided or how they did something. So all throughout, good job. And I like your simile of the spiders devoured them like cheeseburgers, although I think you meant the bugs were back and the spiders devoured them like cheeseburgers. But other than that, I mean, I think you did a great job. Good use of verbs too. I like that. Okay, so that was Paul's. Next, let's see if you can guess this one. Okay, y'all ready? Are you? Okay, here we go. It's gotta be something catchy. Originally, the Itsy Bitsy Spider was created by 4 minuscule arachnids who spent their days on the windowsill adoring the hot summer sun. George, Paul, John, and Ringo, who happened to be spider musicians, wished for a different kind of life. Suddenly, John cried out with a gasp, "We should start a rock band." "Yes, let's write our first song," agreed Paul. "It must be a fairly fine first," announced Ringo happily. "And it's gotta be something catchy," added Paul, because he was so dedicated to music. "We won't have to live on this Sunday windowsill any longer," exclaimed George. Amazingly, that night, George, Paul, John, and Ringo did in fact write their first great rock song. They couldn't help but dance to the beat because it was as catchy as the song from Lego 2. They titled it The Itsy Bitsy Spider and dreamed of their new life once they hit it big. Little did they know that night, the owner of the house was awake with his brand new baby boy. Since the song was so catchy, he started to hum it to his son as a lullaby. His son, who had never slept through the night, immediately fell asleep soundly. Thrilled, he told all of his family, friends, and even the whole internet about this amazing lullaby. And before the spiders could share their new rock song, everyone had already heard of the lullaby. Unfortunately, the spiders, whose lives didn't change at all, were extremely devastated. They did not get rich because they did not become rock stars after all. They kept trying to compose impressive new songs, but none were ever as good as their fairly fine first. To this day, those spiders still love to play their music, and if you sleep in that house, you can still hear those spiders rocking out. And that's the end of the probably not so true story of the song, The Itsy Bitsy Spider. Okay, who was it? Can you guess? Yes, it was Lydia's. Lydia, that was a great story. I've got to tell you, you are an amazing storyteller. I like the way you don't use, let me see, how would I say? You use very important details, but you describe your details succinctly, like you don't go on and on and on and on with your descriptions, but you get your point across. I really like that. And I like the way you use that alliteration, fairly fine first, and then you use it again later, but it's good because you tied that together very well. You have a Great use of your number 3 opener. Originally, amazingly, and unfortunately, you opened your sentences with those ly adverbs very, very well. One thing I will suggest, Lydia, that when we are writing from pictures, please remember that the first sentence of your paragraph has to tell about the central fact of the picture. Okay, you did that in the first paragraph. The second was kind of there, and then the third one you didn't quite tell the central fact of the picture, of the third picture. But I do like the way you said it's got to be something catchy, and you kind of drew that into the storyline. And at the end, you kind of alluded to that on your last sentence. And that's the end of the probably not so true story of that song. So there's that reference to it's got to be something catchy because they're trying to write a song. So I do like that. Very good work. Yes, and I like your because clauses. I think your because clauses really help your explanation of your story. So good job, Lydia. All right, let's see if you can guess this one. Y'all ready? Bob and Fred. One day, it was mid-morning and the yellow sunlight was shining right through the window. Oddly, on that window were 2 inactive spiders and 1 web. One spider, who was bigger, was named Fred, and the other spider, who was smaller, was Bob. And they were friends. Remember that one web? Well, they started roughly fighting over it like Batman and Superman because it was the best web ever. Abruptly, after they furiously fought for the web, which was brand new, Fred had a party and they danced because he won. It was a big party with a light show and food and a really cool DJ named DJ Poison Fang. He had a red cap on backwards and a gold chain, but it was Bob's birthday, and he left the joyful party because they were happily celebrating Fred instead of him. Proudly, the next morning, Fred was sleeping in the web which he recently won in the fight with his friend. Bob, who was jealous because Fred got the sticky web and he didn't, was sleeping on a sill. But once Fred woke up, he realized that he had hurt his friend's feelings. He said he was sorry that he forgot Bob's unsuspected birthday. Okay, who do you think that was? Oh, guess? Can you guess? If you said Hayden, you were right. Good job, Hayden. I like the way you tell this story. And I like the 2 inactive spiders and that simile where they fight like Batman and Superman. That's a good simile because everyone knows who Batman and Superman are. And I think, I don't watch all the movies, but I think they recently had this big movie where they were fighting against each other, right? So that's like fresh in everybody's mind. So that's a good simile to use because people can relate to that. They'll remember that movie. I like the joyful party. That's a good description. That's a good adjective to use, joyful. Let me see what else I wrote on here. Yes, you seem to be getting the number 3 opener, the ly opener of the sentences. You started with all 3 of them. You started correctly, so that was very good. You stuck to the picture. I mean, the first sentence being the central fact of the picture. Good job. And yeah, and I like the ending too. How the one spider, Fred, realized that he had hurt his friend's feelings, and he went to apologize for not celebrating his friend's birthday. So good story. And I think that's a good moral too. It's a good lesson for all of us to be careful with our friends' feelings, right? Good job, Hayden. I like that. Okay, we're getting down to the last couple here. So, the last few. Um, okay, so see if you can guess this one. Okay. Spiders move in. Okay. The sun was shining brightly, and some stealthy spiders were lurking nearby. They saw an open window, so they started crawling up the wall to get inside the room. Then they said, "Let's bite everyone in the house." They made a web for a spider home. Obviously, the web also served as a hunting trap. So then they said, "You can't bite people on an empty stomach because you'd be hungry." After a couple of minutes of inactivity, two 13-year-old boys, two 13-year-old teens walked into the room. Surprisingly, after spotting the spiders, the arrogant boys, who had hair as long as most ladies because they never cut it, exclaimed a yell that sounded like a girl's yell. Then two people who didn't hear the high-pitched women-like screams started playing the piano and guitar. Then the spiders had a three-spider party. One of the three spiders was wearing a top hat, pants, and holding a cane. The second spider was wearing a velvety dress and put on some makeup. The third wore a tie. He was a cheapskate. The disco ball was a firefly dressed in glitter. Meanwhile, the two teens, who were sadly suffering the stubborn effects of the spider bites. If I say so myself, we may look deadly, but when we hear the music of a piano and guitar, we look like professional dancers. The brawny spiders were sleepy after they partied all night. Because of this, they slept all day. But what they didn't know is they were seen by, dun dun dun, the mom and dad. The mom and dad got bug spray and sprayed them. But they were out. They saw their boys and were mad, so the mom got a fly swatter. Quickly, the dad scooped them up and flung them into a wall. However, into a nail, However, they missed and the spiders ran out the door. Okay, can you guess who the author was for that one? Can you? It was, wait for it, James. If you guessed James was the author, you got that right. James, good job with the storytelling. I really liked it. And your metaphor was really impressive. I liked it. The disco ball was a firefly dressed in glitter. So that one made me smile when I read that. Also, what was that? Oh, I didn't underline it, but there was yes, the stealthy spiders. That was a good use of a vocabulary word. Remember, boys and girls, you can use previous vocabulary words too, not just the new one. So that was a good one. And I did see you used a new one too, the velvety dress. So good job. And brawny spiders, that's another vocabulary word that we've had this year. So good job. Also, good job with using the number 3 opener, the surprisingly, right? You use that at the beginning of a sentence. Good job. I will remind you, James, that each paragraph, the first sentence of each paragraph must reflect the central fact of the picture, okay? I think you did that with the first paragraph really well, but then the second and the third, you kind of maybe forgot a little bit. Even though you kind of got to that, like in the second or the third sentence, in the later paragraphs. But remember, the first sentence needs to be the central fact of the picture, and then you go into your details and then wrap it up with your clincher, right? So so good job, and yeah, remember your clincher there. But other than that, really good work. I liked it. You were the second person to include teenage boys, right? So interesting. Oh, and you had a fact about spiders at the end. Fact about spiders: if you have a spider on you, don't put pressure. You might be bit. So yeah, good advice there. All right, good job, James. Okay, so then the last one that I have here, let's see if you can guess whose it is. We're running out of people. Okay, hardworking spiders. There once lived two brawny but burly spiders who were building a web which was weak and sticky. They were stealthily hiding in the shade because it was hot. Usually it was a cool morning. They had just done their web and they sleepily started relaxing. During the night, they started dancing. They had an amazing time because of the dancing. One spider, who accidentally stepped on the web, confessed. The party sadly ended, and spiders looked at the scrawny stars. Suddenly at night, graceful dancing stopped. Early the next morning, they fixed the awesomely made web. The sun, which was like a ball, burned their delicate skin because they waited for the next party. Carefully, they built a second web. During the morning, they were hardworking spiders. So, who do you think that was? Can you guess? Come on. You think you know it? It was Gabriel. Gabriel, good job. Okay, Gabriel, I really like your use of vocabulary words. I saw brawny and stealthy and graceful. So you used several actually throughout your writing, and then the sun, which was like a ball. There's your simile. I noticed that. Good use of your who, which clause. I like that. You tell a good story too. I didn't. My phone started talking. Okay. And the only thing I will remind you, I think the first paragraph, you didn't do it, but the other two you did, where remember the first sentence of the paragraph has to be the central fact of the picture. Okay, it has to be what you see or what is seen in the picture, and then you fill in your details, right? So other than that, good work. I like, as always, your handwriting is good, but I do like your use of vocabulary and your descriptions. Oh, where did I notice? They fixed the awesomely made web. You can probably just say awesome web, but I guess either way sounds good. But yes, good work. Carefully, they built a second web. So yes, very good descriptions. Good job on that, Gabriel. I appreciate that. Okay, so how many did you get right? Did you guess everybody right? All right, I hope so. I know that y'all have fun guessing whose work I'm reading. So that's good. Okay, so real quick, I want to go into some review, okay? So this week and next week, I thought about introducing a new topic, and I was going to go with some whale tourists pictures, but we're not going to have enough time for me to assign the the new one today and then do the vocabulary and the edits next week, because next week is our last video. And then I wouldn't have another week where I could come back and read it to you and give you your, you know, your my comments on your work. So, and because of that, and because I had already planned that towards the end of the year, I wanted to wrap up our class time with some review. Okay, y'all have done a really good job of learning this year. Do y'all remember the parts of speech poem? I bet you do. I know some of you are like, I know, Mrs. Pemberton. I know you do. Let's see if you can say it along with me, okay? I'm going to read it because I don't want to accidentally skip any parts, but if you know it by memory, say it along with me, okay? All right, you ready? The parts of speech. Every name is called a noun, as field and fountain, street and town. In the place of noun, the pronoun stands, as he and she can clap their hands. The adjective describes a thing, as magic wand and bridle ring. The verb means action, something done, to read, to write, to jump, to run. How things are done, the adverbs tell, as quickly, slowly, badly, well. The preposition shows relation, as in the street or at the station. Conjunctions join in many ways, sentences, words, or phrase and phrase. The interjection cries out, hark! I need an exclamation mark. Through poetry, we learn how each of these make up the parts of speech. Did you say it? Did you say it all? I bet you did, because I know most of you had that memorized and y'all have good memories. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this class with a little bit of review. I'm going to put up on the board some little activities, and you're going to try to tell me let me see, you're going to try to tell me, we're going to look for some nouns, okay, and let me see, I'm going to make this bigger, yeah. So I'll show it to you on the board, and we're going to look at nouns, okay? So So we're going to find the noun in each sentence, and we're going to write it. Actually, instead of writing on the line, I think we're just going to circle it. So you're watching the video, and you can point to it on your side of the video, and I am going to circle the noun. Okay, let's see if you can find all the nouns, okay, before I find them. Okay, that way you can check your work when I circle them. If I circle them and you had already picked that noun, then you know you got it right. Okay, so each sentence has a noun, and we're going to circle. I'm going to circle, you're going to point. Okay, she is driving the car. Where's the noun in this one? If you said car, you're right. Car is a noun. He will go to the park, which is the noun. Park, good job. The bridge looks very big. The bridge looks very big. If you said bridge is the noun, you're right. Okay, just a few more. They are going to Russia. They are going to Russia. Where's the noun? If you said Russia, that's correct. It is a proper noun because it's the name of a country. Okay, so we capitalize it, right? Capital R. Look at the next one. The pelican flew high. Did you guess? Pelican is the noun. Well, you shouldn't have to guess, right? You should know. I think you all know. The Arctic is cold. The Arctic is cold. Okay, Arctic is the proper noun. It's a capitalized because it's the name of a place, the Arctic, okay? And what about the earth rotates? You're right, the earth. Earth is the proper noun in this sentence, and so we capitalize earth because it's the name of the planet, okay? So sometimes a noun is just a person, place, or thing, like car or park or bridge or pelican or planet or country, right? But sometimes a noun can be the name of a country or the name of a place or the name of a planet. So we capitalize the proper nouns, okay? Good job, everybody. I think y'all are getting this. I have no doubt, no doubt. Are you ready for a different one? Let me see. I think before I put it up on the screen, yeah. So, yes. So we're going to talk about, oh, I missed my page. One second. I'm looking for something I'm going to share on the screen. Here it is. And there. Okay. So in this one, you're going to help me find the proper nouns. And we are going, well, you're going to point to them, but I'm going to circle them. I'm going to use red. Okay. So we're looking for proper nouns only. Proper nouns. These are the ones that are the name of a person, place, or thing. Okay, so remember they're going to be capitalized. Let's see if you can help me find all the ones in this elephant. Okay, start looking, and I'm going to underline all the proper nouns. Okay, all of the words in this elephant are nouns, but some of them are proper nouns. Remember, proper nouns are the names of persons, places, or things, and common nouns are just person, places, or things. Okay? If you said Andy is a proper noun, you're right. So is Marge and Sally. Those are people, the names of people, and Patrick, right? Those are names of people. What about Chicago? That's a place, that's a city, the name of a city, okay? Arizona is the name of a state. Mexico and England, okay, those are names of countries. So if you said these are the proper nouns, you got it right. Good job, everybody. Okay, now we're going to do a different one. Sometimes we use words that that take the place of a noun. Do you remember what we call those? If you said pronouns, you're right. Okay, so pronouns. You're going to help me find the pronouns, and I'm going to do, just for fun, do a different color, green. Okay, so a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Okay, and so we're going to scroll down a bit here. Okay, and you've got a couple of choices, and for this one, yeah, I'm going to use green. So I'm for the noun Bob, this happens to be a proper noun. We need to choose the correct pronoun. So what's it going to be for Bob? He or she? He, of course. Let me get there we go, my pen. He. Okay, what about for Mary? Would we say him or her instead of Mary in a sentence? We would say her. Very good. We're going to go a little faster through these because if you need time to think about it, pause the video, okay? Dog. Okay, instead of dog, we could say it. Okay, Tom. Tom is the name of a person, a boy, or a man. So we could say him or we. Him. That's right. Ted. Instead of Ted in a sentence, we could say what? Say Ted's skateboard, his skateboard, right? So his is the pronoun that takes the place of Ted or Ted's. What about girls? This is a common noun. Girls, would we say her or they? Oh, think about it. Think about it, because girls is plural. Is her plural? No. So they is plural. So we would say they. The girls went to the park. They went to the park, right? They is girls. All right, in this case. Jill. Jill is the name of a girl. Would we say she or him? She, because she's a girl. Very good. Cats. I'm going to move this up I think we can do it. Cats. Do you see it down here? Cats. Instead of cats, would we say them or he? Notice it's plural, so we would say them. Very good. I think y'all got all of those too. I think so. Because y'all are bright kids, and I'm pretty sure y'all are remembering all of your nouns and your pronouns. Okay, we're running out of time, but real quick, I do want to cover, let me see, adjectives. I want us to look at adjectives. So what are adjectives? Do you remember? Yes, adjectives describe a noun. Okay, they describe a noun. So when we look at adjectives, we're looking at two things. Okay, two things. We need to know, what is the adjective? What is it? The adjective describes something, and then we need to know what it's describing. We need to know the noun that it's describing. So in this activity, we are going to find the noun. I'm going to use pink this time because I like pink. Actually, purple. I know. I heard you. I almost heard you. Some of you said, I thought purple. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm going to use purple then. Okay. In this example, the elephant has a pointed hat. Pointed is the adjective, and it describes hat, right? It tells us what kind of hat. Okay, so that's the example that we're going to use. We're going to, scroll down just a little bit. So the motorboat ran out of gas. Which is the adjective? I'm going to circle it. Motor, because it tells us what kind of boat. Good job. Look at the next one. The small cup did not hold all the water. Which is the adjective? Remember, an adjective describes something, describes a noun. Small. It tells us what kind of cup, the small cup, right? So look at the next one. The next one's going to be interesting. The toy sailboats were in the water. Which is the adjective? Oh, are you sure? Toy. Toy is the adjective. Sometimes toy is a noun, like put the toy away. The toy is the adjective, is the noun. But in this case, it's telling us what kind of sailboats. Okay, they're toy sailboats. So toy is the adjective, and it describes the noun sailboats. Now, some of you might be wondering, what do we do with the phrase in the water? Like, what is it? Because you might have thought, well, what about the water? Does it describe where the sailboats are? No, actually it tells you where. It does show relation. So in is the prep. Remember the preposition? And every prep has an op. Good job. Object of the preposition. So in is a preposition. In what? In water. Water is the object of the preposition. So yeah, so that's what we would do with this here, okay? So let's keep looking for adjectives and the nouns that they describe. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Okay. Turn it blue. Okay. So the next one, Jack drank a thick milkshake. Jack drank a thick milkshake. Which is the adjective? If you said thick, you're right. What does it describe? Milkshake. Good job. The bumpy road is behind my house. Don't let this one trick you. The bumpy road is behind my house. If you said bumpy is the adjective, you're right, because it describes road. It tells us what kind of road. The smooth road, a rough road, a bumpy road, okay? Now again, behind my house is a prepositional phrase. Behind is the prep. It tells us where something is in relation to something else. Behind what? House, that's the op. Every prep has an op. So the object of the preposition is house. The preposition is prep. I mean, is behind. Okay, I'm going to erase that so we don't get confused. And then the last one, it will fit in the square box. It will fit in the square box. Oh, are you sure? This is a tricky one. If you said square, you're right. Square describes box. It tells us what kind of box. But square box, it's part of the prepositional phrase here, right? In is the preposition. It tells us where something is in relation to something else. It is in the square box, or it will fit in what? In the box. So box is the op. Every prep has an op, right? So in this sentence, the object of the preposition in is box. So every prep has an op. Very good, you guys. Y'all did good. One last thing I want to review today, and I hope you're having fun. I hope you're having fun because I want you to enjoy kind of guessing what the answer is, and then I tell you what the answer is and see if you got it right. I bet it thrills you to get things right. Okay, so I'm going to share one more thing. Now we're going to look for verbs. Okay, here we go. And for this one, I am going to use my orange color because it shows up really nice. Okay, so we're looking for action verbs. Words that tell about action are called verbs. The words below are called action verbs, okay? Jump, shovel, chew, and plow. We're going to write the correct one in each line below. So you get to help me fill in the blank, okay? John would blank the walks every morning. John would blank the walks every morning. Do you think he would jump the walks, shovel the walks, chew the walks? Oh, that would not be fun. Or plow the walks? He would shovel, okay? Shovel the walks. That is if we lived where there was a lot of snow. So if you didn't get that one right, I don't blame you because we don't get much snow down here. We don't, not at all. Okay, the second one. Jane will blank the fields with the new equipment. So we've already used shovel. Jane will what the fields? What can she do with the fields? To the fields with the new equipment. She could plow. Very good. P-L-O-W, plow. So Jane will plow the fields with the new equipment. Good job. Who guessed that one right? Oh, I know. I can just imagine y'all answering the right question. I mean, the right answer here. Okay, let's do the next one together. Watch the dog blank on that bone. What do you think? Jump or chew? Chew, of course. Okay, he's not going to jump on that, but well, he could jump on the bone, but it makes more sense that he's chewing on that bone. Ted can jump higher than anyone in his school. Oh, I know. Hayden saying, I can jump higher because I know I would tell y'all not to do this, but some of you boys would jump off of those steps going downstairs. Hayden, Jacob, Ben, all the boys, all of you guys. Okay. All right. So let me clear this so we can scroll down. We're going to do one more or a few more. Okay. These are actions, but you cannot see these actions. Believed, saw, wished, and wanted. Can you see someone want? Can you see someone wish or believe or see? No. It's not an action that you can see usually. So, but there's still action words because it is what is being done. So that's why these are in this category. Okay, so we're going to write Barry blank to go to college to study astronomy. Believed, saw, wished, or wanted. If you said wanted, you're right. Barry wanted to go to college to study astronomy. Terry blank for many things. Believed, saw, or wished. I know. Lydia, they're like, I know, it's wished. I know, you're right, it's wished. Okay, the cat blank the toy mouse. The cat saw the toy mouse, okay? And Julie believed there would be a rainbow. She believed there would be a rainbow. Very good. I'm so proud of y'all. You know, the other day, well, I guess it was a few weeks back, we had some rain out here, and where we live outside the city. We live way out. And so there's like a big clearing. If we stand on our back porch, you can see this big clearing, and we have an unobstructed view of the sky. And so anyway, it was raining, and we saw clearly a double rainbow that was complete, like from one end all the way to the other, two of them. It was beautiful, beautiful. So anyway, that last one was about Julie believed there would be a rainbow. Well, I saw them. I saw two together on the same, it was a double rainbow. Anyway, I think we've run out of time. So we're going to end the video. I apologize that we went over a little bit, but I just got too excited. Okay, so I'm going to let you go, and we will see you next week. And hopefully we'll see you on the Zoom meeting if you can join us, okay? We'll see you next week. Y'all take care. Okay, bye-bye.